Hello, everybody. Welcome back to OSL Week 3, Day 2. Today, we have a fair few matchups for you. So, the first one to start us off, we have KaitOkids versus Caustic. We have KaitOkids picking the Spirit, which will be played on Wrecker's Yard. Caustic then picking the Ghoul that will be played on Wretched Shop. And then Tiebreaker played on, which is Oni, played on CT1 Coldtail 1. So, I am pretty excited. I am joined by one of my favorite casters out there, Tavi. How are you, mate?
So I'm doing good. After recently witnessing a tragic murder of our streamer last night, now we have 4 games, so hopefully no crash will happen this time as we do load into the Wrecker's Yard. And Kaido Kids did pick this set, and Hasso, I think we were casting a certain Kaido Kids spirit match. Oh no, hold on, not we. I was casting a certain Kaido Kids spirit match, which ended up in a tied 4K1 with I believe it was Oppenheimer, which are also going to be playing later today. So watch out for that, everyone. But I think Kaido Kids definitely do want to get a strong start here, especially because they picked the set. And I'm not sure if Quinia gets this tag here, Hasso, and this is a really big deal.
Yeah, I mean, you have to play to the best of our ability here. We are running Wretched, Fate, Eruption, Pain Race, Corrupt, so a pretty strong build sort of targeting out that one session, which will be Dave. So overall, a really nice build, and then your typical add-ons for the Spirit. Now, for people just joining us, we have some cracker games today, incredible games. We've got KaitOkids versus Caustic, Bleed Out versus Cat Jam, Diamond Dogs versus Evolution, Forsaken versus Oppenheimer. So they're all going to be incredible, and we get it down here onto merit. So very nicely done, and that's not going to be a generator popping for the first
Oh,
chase. So yeah, what are your thoughts so far, Tavi?
that was actually close because I think if Merit went to the edge map, it would have been a lot more interesting whether that gen would pop or not. But alas, that Painless comes off, and we might actually see another spirit set today. There's the tiebreaker of the third series, Diamond Dogs and Evolution, so we might be seeing another spirit set. But as of now, of course, we're definitely seeing this one go to, I would say, a fairly alright start. And Chief, funnily enough, is the guy on the generators here, and he's going to be sitting that very patiently. Duck gets the pull, and Dage goes down. So a bit of target switching for Quinia, and I think this is fairly justified because it did interrupt the generator that was very, very close to popping. Which, again, if I said before, if Merit went edge map, there was a real chance that that generator would have popped. But yeah, unfortunate that that hypothetical would not happen. So Quinia is gonna just keep on rotating around. I'm not sure what the plan is now, Hasso, but I do remember last night. I do remember there was a lot of target switching from Pig Spirit on Sea Dragon's side, and that did actually work out pretty well. It ended up in a 4K2. Now Chief is of course on the generator and playing the game, so it's not going to be casting. But I think, oh my gosh, what am I saying? I think Caustic has to be a lot more careful about who they send into pull and like when they decide to pull, because 4K2 is definitely not a result which reflects Spirit.
Yeah, I mean, you said it perfectly as we spot out next away here, which will be LV Duck, and I think Quinn actually got a little bit lost or is a bit unsure, so we are going to have to hit this perfectly timed if we're going to go second, and we're not going to go second, so Dage is going to get off scot-free without going second. So Tavi, we see plenty of situations like this in plenty of different games and matchups and lineups, but when you're in a tough situation like this where there's already been 3 stages for one generator, I mean, the freshers are almost like out the way. You know, Chief's obviously the only fresh alive, but you know, you have to really play this correctly, and you know, we are going to get it down here on Dage, who misses the dead hard. So like I said, you have to play your cards correctly when you're in a situation where it is a bit more dire, and you know, we are going to hook over here towards the mid, I think 9 hook, unless they've changed it, mid 9, mid 3, one of the two. But yeah, I mean, Tavi, the perk selection clearly is going to work out. But if you can keep your Wretched Fate up for longer and sort of focus, and we're going to just spot out our next survivor. So hold on a second. We have spotted out Merrick here. This will be a tag. And every 2 survivors are injured. We've got Chief sitting again. So this is not looking good for the survivors. As, you know, if we can get it down here nice and early, I mean, it could be over. So, Tavi, what are your thoughts so far on how Quain has played this?
I think Quinn has played this pretty textbook. That first chase, the start of the trial, didn't seem to go to their favor, but you know, now with all this pressure coming through, our survivors have not even opted to reset just yet, and both of them are injured. So if anyone's going to go for the pull, it's Chief, and he's still setting the generator, so he has to make a very fast rotation to get this pull. But we do see the resets come through, so they did opt to reset, just as I'm saying, as they're not, and this this again throws a bit of a spanner in the works of Caustic's plans, because they had a lot of generators with good progress, and you know, with all this changing around of like hooks and hook locations, they've been forced off. Generators are regressing because of the eruption, and Quinn is just able to set up this situation here. Tunnel out, 3 generators remaining, and also 2 more hooks. Chasing the tunnel out 2 is going to be obvious in this scenario, and Dej is playing this pallet fairly well, very patient, and will buy more time. But is it enough time to make up the generators? I don't really know, because again, there's been like 2 generators that are around like 50 to 70% that have just gone all the way to 0. Dej still has the dead hard in the pocket though. Will they decide to use it? Remember, this is cross ping, and they're just vaulting, and they do.
What?
He misses the swing there, and now Dej's kill still keeps the dead hard and might be able to use it on the TL wall. But no, the pallet is not a TL wall. There's a pallet.
Oh!
Jungle Gym from Temu is going to work out well, and it's just going to connect it back to the other pallet, and this is the time that they need. Somehow Merritt's still not gotten the pickup in the background. I'm not sure what they're waiting for, but Chief's the only one on the generator, so perhaps they won't be able to capitalize on all this time just as well. And will the dead hard hit this time? I think Dej is playing this very, very patiently. They're not using it, they fake it, and oh my god, they're so patient, but they go down at the end, and that beautiful chase is going to result in 2 generators popping. Merritt was actually on the gen the entire time, so Hasso will not see a 4K2 this trial, but instead we'll be seeing 4 generators popped, with LV Duck just getting picked up then by Chief. Oh my gosh, that was insane.
Yeah, I mean, Tavi, you said it perfectly. I mean, what a chase that was. There is no doubt that was an incredible chase. So, you know, it is going to be dire as Duck goes down here towards the bottom side, if I'm, again, not mistaken. I'm not sure if the map has been flipped or whatever. Some people give different comms, so, you know, I think, you know, we have had a DC, however. I don't know if I've just seen that, but we have had a DC on the side of LV Duck. Chief, I mean, sorry, Tavi, this is going to be, I mean, if they, I think it's too late to restart. It's far too late. There's already been enough generators popped. We've been in the trial for long enough, and we're just going to have to play for this 4K0 win con, or sorry, you know, setting. So, you know, so far, on the side of the survivors, we have played that beautifully, and Merritt doesn't get hit there somehow. Absolutely incredible stuff on the side of Merritt. And, you know, we are going to opt to leave. Now, we do have some really nice generators here, Tavi, we can monitor. So, you know, this is going to be a hard, because it's actually a really nice 3-gen that we've got going. We can obviously set up our eruption. We still have Pain Res to come here onto Chief, but our Wretched Fate player is out. So, I mean, Tavi, it's, you know, finding your survivors is going to be your next priority, and that's what Quinn's going to do. But, you know, we don't want to give away too many free tags, and, you know, Chief obviously going to give away a tag here. So, in a situation like this where your teammate has DC, Tavi, what can you do? Not just in a situation where they DC, but when it's a 2v1 situation like this, there's a nice 3-gen. What can you do if you're the survivors?
Well, they need to play very patiently. Chief is, of course, getting tagged, and now Merritt gets tagged with the attempted double back, and it seems like Quinn is just going to follow the survivor down. In the previous spurts that we saw between, well, yesterday, I guess, we saw a lot of back and forth going between Shaq and a deeper gen, and that was really going on because the gen was really high progress, and the survivors had good exhaustions to like last in chase. But you know, this time the generators are not anywhere close to being completed. Chief is going to get found. Merit was, of course, downed just recently, and the trial is all but over at this point because there is no self-pickup perks. So yeah, that pretty much dispels the 4K1, which I wouldn't be too disappointed as Caustic here because, of course, there's a disconnect. But there was definitely an opportunity for more because the two survivors that were in the trial were both healthy, and LV Duck, who was who disconnected through means that we will go into later. We'll find out later and inquire about it. But yeah, LV Duck was already hooked and on the ground. So, well, not he's already hooked once and was downed. So that disconnect kind of feels bad, but like, you know, it could have been like the healthy survivor disconnecting. So I think they'll take the 4K1 and have to just play off that win condition. And if it proves to be too difficult,
Duck fire up and hopefully give us, you know, some special stuff because I know this man has got experience. You know, he's an experienced player, has been around for a while. Um, you know, he is a very good player. So hopefully when we load in, so we do load in, sorry, and you know we see some really good stuff come out of LV Duck here because there is no doubt this man has he's got the skill to produce some really good gameplay. So you know we already found our first survivor. Now Tavi running a bit of an aggressive build here on the side of LV Duck with the Hex Ruin. What are your thoughts on that one?
I think LV Duck's build's definitely going for a different kind of vibe. We've seen in the past, we've seen more kind of like passive like slowdown perks being used, like Sloppy. We saw, I think just then it was Wretched Fate, and there's also, you know, other choices that you can use. Like actually, hold on, there are not really that many other choices, but like, yeah, Ruin is pretty aggressive, I would say. It does fall off if you cannot get a down quickly, because then the gen's obviously being worked. And it seems like LV Duck might just have a bit of troubles here. The Dance With Me gets a bit of value. Stanos does go down the edge map, so there's a life, and Dance With Me being used, by the way. And LV Duck will be able to secure the first hook before the first gen pops. So I think the gamble of Ruin's definitely going to pay off, even if it just interrupts the first generator, because as long as it can just stop, or just start regressing the highest progress generator, sort of like a really bad Ruin if it gets cleansed quickly, then it's pretty much worth it. And Novos gets hit on the Scourge hook, and the first generator is going to go back just a little bit. Not having Sloppy against Kaito, I think it's fine. They play pretty patiently, so you know, Sloppy could get some value trying to like interrupt the resets. At the same time, it might not at all because the chases might just be too good, and there's a 4 people coming through for a very early stealth from Nortal. So I would expect the second win as well coming, Hasso. It seems like a bit of an early play to go for, and LV Duck's actually going to respect it and go for Nortal instead. He does not want to take the second hook on Navos.
Yeah, I mean, LV Duck is actually not in a terrible situation. He's gonna get his next pain res, obviously on this hook. So he's honestly no other gen has popped. They've only had one gen pop, and sort of the same situation almost this sort of time into the game, where you sort of slow down on the side of the survivors. That's what happened on the side of Caustic, and then they sort of sped up with the progression of the generators. So you know, we are going to get a little bit lost in the sauce here, but we do spot out our Renato, which is 2 Teacher. Now, I haven't really seen 2 Teacher play too much before, to be completely honest, but I have heard really good things. So we are going to, you know, we are going to find it because LV Duck, I mean, this man is unmatched, and he's, like I said, very experienced, knows this killer fairly damn well. So, you know, especially on Team Bleed Out, we saw a lot of him, and we are going to get away there. So Tavi, I mean, the gens are, you know, gonna start to pop here now. If we can last a little bit longer, and we are gonna, you know, win the 50. So, I mean, we are gonna die in a perfect situation, perfect spot, should I say? But right now, what's LV Duck's objective? I mean, this has been a very long time. Keep in mind, this is only a fresh, and there's no pain roses nearby, I don't think. So Tavi, I mean, the situation is getting very close seas, so there's no pain resers nearby for LV Duck to reach. So I mean, it is starting to creep up on him here if he doesn't get quick chases.
Yeah, I think this might have been the situation that I was talking about, just not being able to get the downs and the pressure fast enough, where maybe LV Duck was perhaps regretting not bringing the Sloppy Butcher. Like, Sloppy Butcher is kind of scary in a way because the reset's taking 4 seconds longer, means Spirit has 4 more seconds to interrupt, has 4 more seconds to try and find your position and then interrupt. Like, it just makes things a lot closer, and in this low pressure situation, it could definitely make things make the injuries snowball a lot more. And as I say that, we do finally take our first injury right after, and Nervous is gonna potentially run Shaq here because yeah, now it gets dropped. So it can make anywhere on the map, and that's the general rule with dropping Shaq. And it's kind of fine for Kaito at the moment. They've got 3 healthy survivors. The injured is being chased in a pretty good location. And yeah, as I was saying before, they don't have to really worry about some kind of snowball with Sloppy Butcher or some like incredible eruption things going on because they're just, again, not that much pressure on the board. You see another gen pop as well, so that's just one more objective ticked off the list for Kaido, and they only need to pop 2 more, and the hook again is in a very ideal spot. It's just outside the generator zone, and everyone who's in the generator zone is healthy and not really in danger of being tunneled out. So it's definitely difficult for LV Duck to make a judgment call on like what to commit. I think the best game plan would be trying to take a couple of tags and then, as I was saying before, attempt a snowball. But it's going to be fairly difficult without anything to assist except for eruption.
Yeah, I mean, these perks are gonna, LV Duck has been sort of bamboozled with the and look at that, just spotting out 2, teacher. That is very smart on the side of LV Duck. Now, I don't want to blaze the man too much, but we are going to dead hard and hold on a second. I think we've got, that is beautifully done here from 2 teacher, but like I said, I don't want to, say it too much, but LV Duck has to really play aggressive here, Tavi, and he is clearly going for this tunnel out, and he needs this tunnel out down as fast as possible. And I'm telling you, this is going to get too close for comfort. Winning the 50, and we're going to get to Crane now. This is an incredible chase here on the side of Naros. So honestly, Tavi, I mean, burning up all the time you can, and you're going to make as much distance here. You might even make... No, so Shaq's already gone. It's on the other side, so that is done by me. But that is another gen popping, and that will be... I think we're a Tycon now, so... I mean, it is looking fairly dire here for LV Duck. He's going to need to pull something off, and there goes the final again. So, very unfortunate, but... It is, obviously playing for your best result is the best thing you can do in a situation like this. So, a very experienced man, LV Duck, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. The man came out of retirement not too long ago. He retired. He pulled a hassle and retired for a little bit and then just came back out. So, fair enough. Good to see him, with his experience helping these other teams out. Obviously being close to Chief and all those guys. So, we are going to take a tag here onto Quinn. So, I mean, right now, Tavi, it is obviously over, but, I mean, they still have the ghoul set. So, this wasn't their pick. So, obviously, if it's not your pick, you aren't going to be favoured to win unless you're, like, the best team in the region. But, in saying that, they still have another game. It's not a best of 1, it's a best of 3. So, there is still a chance that they can bring this back. What a hit there from LV Duck, just reading that like a beautiful book. So, this will be 3 out here. So, we will be leaving the trial with, I believe, 5 stage 3 fresh. So, very nicely done on the side of Survival.
Getting to a certain area, like some slower killers are, I would even lump Spirit in that category where, like, you kind of have to play a bit territorial as Spirit too, but as Ghoul, you can take the pain res, lose those extra 5-ish seconds of the survivor running, catch up to them in 3 seconds, down them in half a second, put them on a hook in 5 seconds, then tunnel them out in another 5 seconds. So like it's pretty ridiculous. But that's how I've seen the meta change a little bit with Ghoul going with pain res.
Yeah, I mean, You said it beautifully as we load in here into the next game, and it will be Gage on the killer. You know, bit glitch there. Not too sure what I just saw on my screen, but you know, obviously running again a very aggressive build on the side of Dage. So you know, spotting your first survivor and keeping that ruin up is probably your best bet. I mean, it obviously is a bit of a situation where you have to stay aggressive for the win. Sorry, to win the match, should I say? Both, you know, the tie. But you have to get through the second set. So this is going to be one to, you know, play for. And, you know, obviously, Ghoul being one of these fast mobility killers, like you said, Tavi, it is one that you have to really play everything correctly, because you can get two-tapped very fast, or just down in general. So, you know, we are going to take the tag here, or the down, should I say, onto Naroz. Now, I mean, we are going to make a pain race here, but I'm not too sure what the gen progression is looking like. That was a fairly fast chase, a very fast chase, should I say, as we are gonna obviously get a bit of value out of our first perk. So far, Ruin's gone. Eruption's going to be coming into play here, and we're going to see two Teacher walk up and stealth for that pool now. You know, the terror radius obviously being, I believe, the biggest one in the game. Obviously, you can catch a few survivors off guard if you sort of patrol your gens, not completely, but just go walk in the area. And look at that, we're going to get our first bit of eruption here on Daisha. He's not wasting any time, but playing absolutely perfectly. And look at that, we are going to just finish straight back. And I think we've gone for an FTP here on the side of two Teacher, but because we've crouched, so I'm not too sure if FTP is allowed on this killer, but very nicely done from Daesh to stop that happening. And FTP is allowed, so very nicely done there. And we are going to come in for a hit tank here. We are going to get stuck behind a locker, and that works out for the side of the survivors. So right now it's looking fairly nice for the survivors, but they need to last for as long as possible. It's going to be a down. So honestly, I mean, the tables can turn in a matter of seconds against this killer Tavi, and that's what they're going to need to do. They're going to need to really lock in here on the side, the survivors, or it could be detrimental to the result at the end of the game.
And I think that hit take was a bit of a mistake. We've seen hit takes be effective against Rule, but only when the survivors can, you know, start to mount the pressure and start to get the generators done. Right now, we don't even have a single generator done, so two Teacher being injured is just like a like really bad omen for them. Bad pun there, but with the first gen only now being done, I just feel like that one hit take could be really bad, because now two Teachers not healthy. They can't go in for the trade. Is forcing Nortor to instead go in for a trade, if they take the trade, of course. Nortor might not decide to, as KaitOkids just might, as a team, leave Naroz to die, and that is a bit of a problem again, because they don't have a lot of gens. It all goes back to the gen pressure. And, there's a bit of a save. Okay, so Nortor was there, gets the pull pretty much for free, and Dage does not care about trying to get back to Nortor at all, just wants to tunnel out. And here is the critical chase, because all those points before, it pretty much leads to how fast this survivor will get eliminated. And with Nortor here taking a hit, that means Shaq goes down very safely. Nortor's just buying a bit of time, forcing the power down. Buys actually a swing, so forces that out, and the gen pops in the background, so Dage kind of knows where everyone is. Still needs to keep track of Naroz though, because they made a lot of distance away. Does manage to find the scratch marks and the blood, so it is Crane that Naroz has decided to loop, and it is not the tile I guess Dage wants to see. They're trying to,
Whoa.
I guess, make their way over, but I think a bit of lag on one of the players or spectators' end is just gonna be a little bit funny. So at the end of the day, gets the down, got two resets in the distance, but Hasso, I think only two gens being done for this is pretty concerning, because that chase seemed to take a very long time. You know, there was a good amount of time wasted with Nortor going in, dropping the pallet, then the swing, then the little shenanigan around Crane, and not really much has amounted from this except just resetting the injuries that were applied before from Dage. And yeah, as I was saying before, I think that's just an issue, because now with 3 people in the trial, they had to reset instead of getting a gen done, and they actually do have a gen very close to to completion, but I think Dej just spotted onto it, and maybe they haven't. So maybe the gen pops in phase.
I mean,
Hello?
it is a bit lost here, but honestly, Tavi, I think you said it correctly. I mean, it is a bit concerning on the side of survivors that they didn't pop another generator, at least one generator for that chase. That was a good enough time, good enough chase to burn enough time. So it is starting to look fairly dire. And Dage is sort of playing this really nicely. We might even so we were at the other crane, I believe. So we're playing this very nicely, getting eruption onto our gens. That's going to be one generator popping in the background. We are going to catch two teacher off guard here, just a little bit lost here on the shack. So gonna make 2 volts out of this. We might even make a 3rd volt out of this, just to burn up time. We might even double back here. We're not, so we're just gonna burn as much time as possible here. Obviously, we are going to fly in, and this will be a down here onto 2 teacher, unless we have a hit tank come out of absolutely nowhere. We aren't going to, so that will be a down on the side of 2 teacher. Now, that eruption could be crucial, even though that gen may not have been getting work, there could be a bit of aura there. We do have painters, and I'm not too sure what Tavi spotted, but yeah, Tavi, would you like to enlighten us there?
Oh, the gen gets done.
Oh,
that gen gets popped, and that's huge because I really didn't think KaitOkids had the pressure. I did not think after those 2 resets and the stealth around the generator at 1, I really did not think that they would suddenly be able to pop 2 generators for a single hook, and that means pain res is also wasted on 2 teacher. So that is a huge resource out of the trial for Dej. And I think, yeah, KaitOkids, I thought they were in a dire spot, and it seems to me that they might even be able to get a bit of an advantage here because, again, not 2 teacher, Dej sees the gen pop, but he's so far away that he couldn't find the survivor immediately. I mean, sees Nortor now, might get the M1. Yes, the ping is going to be good enough. The connection was not too expensive, and is going to take the next chase. But Quinia's assuming getting the pull, and if Dej can't get this down quickly, like Nortor's playing this fairly well on ping, then there's again the problem because there's not a problem because we've got the $5 Wi-Fi, so we get the down, and it's all good.
In the $5 Wi-Fi, I mean, it's starting to be, it's close, Tavi. It is close. I mean, the gens aren't too bad on the side of Dej. I mean, they're not great, but they're not terrible. Definitely could be a lot worse. Now, the question is, will another generator pop? Will the final generator pop, Tavi? I mean, that is the question on everyone's mind because, to be completely honest, it looks like Dej could hold this for a little bit. If you can get eruption on these gens, even if these gens get worked 3%, getting eruption on your generators is crucial because it can definitely change the the output of the game. So it's if he can really find a survivor or even hope that this unhook comes shortly. I mean, that's when it's done. We're just gonna spot our next survivor, which will be 2 teacher out of nowhere. So very nicely done here on the side of Dej. So I'm not too sure if we're gonna opt to leave this once that pull, which should be coming in very shortly. It should be in a matter of seconds that pull should be coming in because there we go. So there's the pull on to Nortor. So very nicely done. And we are going to greed the pallet, so hold on a second. We are playing this beautifully. We're going to make the pallet. We're not going to greed again, but we are going to get teched over. And we somehow finesse the shit out of the killer. So very nicely done. And Dej just stands still, absolutely shell-shocked. So beautifully well done on the side of 2 teacher there to just burn up as much time. And beautifully well done, Tavi. So, I mean, seriously, the pressure is going to start to build here on Dej. I mean, as I said earlier, he's going to get eruption here onto some of these gens, but he needs to get these downs as soon as possible. And I've just seen on the second monitor that there is a survivor stealthy nearby, so nearby that gen. So it's been very nicely done, Tavi, and I mean they're playing this beautifully. The survivors in a 3v1 situation. burning up time, but they need to get onto a generator because this down will come onto 2 teachers shortly. So that will be a down here, and that will be Eruption procking on to, I believe, Quinn. So that does not help there, but that will not be Pain Res. Pain Reses have all been used, so Tavi, it is sort of looking like it could be, what, 4K1 here.
It looks like 4K1 indeed, Hasso, but Dage, I think, should be worried about the gens because 2 teacher managed to waste a good amount of time. Got the unhook in the distance from Quinn. Nortor's been kind of just, you know, been around for a good minute or minute and a half to 2 minutes. So Dage is understandably worried that, you know, the generators might have a lot of progress. So has to take away pressure from other key points to focus on the generators. And of course now with this hook being so close, these gens cannot be worked. So there's only 2 critical points, and he's managed to find Quinn between them. So that is huge. But again, Nortos still has the potential of sneaking in the last generator. Very, very unlikely potential now because of course Nigen did not get worked enough at that point, but it was still there, and Dage has to Dage has to contend with that. So the pull coming in, obviously the gen's not going to get done immediately, so gonna have to commit a chase, and is deciding to go for Nortor, which I think is interesting because 2 teachers gonna be the one rotating, and if they get the reset now, I guess it's also kind of fine for Dage because it's in the basement. And yeah, Dage just has to take it down here, allow Nortor to perhaps rotate, and I think 2 teacher makes the pallet. That's very close, but they are going to safely drop it. And with this out of the way, I think 2 teacher is going to be dead. They did jiggy away for a little bit. Should force a locker though. Definitely going for it, but it did not jump in. So yeah, I think after this sequence of events, 4K1 definitely imminent. I don't know if Kaito can do much from here. And yeah, pretty well played by Dage. I think that one chase by 2 teacher did get a bit worrying because of the length. But with 2 survivors now in the trial, Dage also knows that the gens have not been worked for a good minute or so. There's not really there's not a likely chance that our survivors will pop another one. They are still in the trial though, so of course the trial's not over until everyone is dead. Even if they're on the ground, there could still be some funny shenanigans with a fresh escape. But for the most part, the chases are not going to matter as much. And we do find a reset. That's Norto going down, and I would assume now that the trial is all but over.
Yeah, I mean, we aren't going to get a tag here, but we are going to get an infection here on the Quinn. So, Quinna has actually played this one very nicely. The whole game being stealthy beautifully. The majority of the team hasn't seen really any faults, and a beautiful stun there coming in from them. Now, obviously, this will be a 4K1, but I tell you what, Tavi, considering the situation they were in, the survivors, a Deca 3 didn't help at all, but they played things correctly. And I mean, seriously, it's going to be, obviously, like I said, 4K1, but it's going to be tough for the side of Caustic to you know, get below that, because I know, you know, especially on a killer like this, I'm not too sure if it's Mortor or 2 teacher that will be playing this killer for them, but they are very good on the ghoul. So, you know, I've seen KaitOkids locked in on the ghoul before, so bit of lag there, and oh my goodness, Day's just lagging a lot, so unfortunate there, and we are gonna get off somehow. We have accidentally 4%ed. Not too sure what's happened there, so yeah, we have gotten off, but we haven't moved, so you know, I'm not sure if that's a play for Hatch. This obviously wouldn't be allowed, but you know, very nicely done. That'll be the 4K1 on the side of KaitOkids. So disgusting Mori, but you know, we will load in to our next game very shortly. Take a very fast intermission.
Oh, that's cool.
So it should be a great watch. Nortor's been a tremendous player for the amount of seasons that the man has played. Has always been a consistent player, and obviously this is going to be a test. They need to get a 4K 0 result, if I'm not mistaken, Tavi. So you know, the survivors actually have this. It's definitely doable. And looking at the builds, nice sprint burst build, stacked dead hard build with the resilience. I mean, overall these builds look perfect, balanced out evenly, really nice. So Norto obviously searching around for his first victim. Now Tavi, the win con here, they need to get or a 4K 0, the survivors, but it's a 4K 2. Is it possible a 4K 2 here on the side of
4K2, yeah, it should be possible. The survivors are on ping, remember that I believe Noto is currently in Thailand, so Thailand to Australia or OCE ping is around 120 plus, and that will make the chases a lot worse for survivors. Chief's just going to get caught out here, not being able to make the bend. I don't think the ping would have mattered too much there, but yeah, that's just going to be a recurring issue in the trial. Like this filler here is usually considered to be fairly safe. Now, Chief, I mean, he'd have to run away anyway, but he kind of gets kidnapped back there and can't make the vault, so that's just going to get downed, and Mr. Chief, that is an unfortunate down to take around the main building, because if I'm... No, there's no basement here. Never mind, I forgot. But still, main building, so Noto's able to drag this up to top mid, and what I thought was going to be a slow start for Killer and Survivors has suddenly turned around with Chief getting down, so... bit of a contrast to the last game. I think last game we saw somebody get found very early, and then they managed to last and chase for a good amount of time, which brought a good amount of time for survivors to be on generators. But this time, I don't know if there's the same gen pressure, even though this first chase is taking around the same time. It seems like Vish is going to be left alone. Noto's going to be having 3 dashes because Vish is still in the got the Kagune mark, so this could be problems, and yeah, Chief's gonna get kind of like grabbed through the window, and the distance will be kind of put back in Norval's favor, which that does. And that's something you learn from the pubs, I think. That just did not work out there for Chief, and he's going on the second hook. So Nortor has got his tunnel out on 5 gens, Hasso, and that is even faster than the last trial. And I was saying then that our survivors were in a bad spot with 1 gen done. Now with Caustic having like maybe 1.5 gens done, which they're not really done yet, but like they haven't popped the gen, so I don't know how it's going, especially because Mary gets tagged through the wall thanks to some very spaghetti code going on. This is problems. This chase is near the hook. Merit can't, or doesn't go for the trade rather, and is just forcing an edge map or locker. And Norto's just going to build up the pressure from here. Merit's going to be left alone now. First gen pops finally, but Chief is only 30 seconds away from dying. That's not much time. They have to send in LV Duck if they want to attempt to trade, and there he is, just in the background around main building. Norto gets stuck. That's huge. That's going to buy a couple of extra seconds for this 5-on hook, and even though it doesn't sound very significant, it means LV Duck doesn't have to pull as early to finally take the tag here. Norto should and want this to force the pull early as possible, and then Chief has to go for the miracle run that we saw last trial, which even then, last trial again, we only saw like 1 generator pop for the miracle run, so Chief has to do better.
Yeah, I mean, Chief needs to last here, and we are going to make a window here on Shaq and probably use the Shaq palette in the end. But Chief needs to play this correctly, really well. I've spoken to Chief plenty of times, and man, he plays this game very well. We are gonna live, and oh my goodness, the big man, Lil Chief, putting on a performance. So this man can do it all, and are gonna get down here, unfortunately, on the bus. But that was a nicer chase than the ones he had earlier. So, unfortunately, we couldn't have that one earlier on in the game, but do see Vish, do see LV Duck working on Gen, so it's hard. I mean, it is definitely looking like it's Nortor's game, but it's not over until it's over. So, taking, I mean, Nortor is just zooming around the map, 100 kilometers per hour, way over the speed limit, and he's just getting the tags left, right, and center. So Nortor's playing this correctly. He does need to play for that 4K2 win con, I believe. If I've gotten that mistake, maybe I've mistaken it. But we do get mind games here by the big LV Duck. This man, like I said, is very experienced. He's burst plenty of killers in his time, so good to see him locked in on the Survivor. I mean, Tavi, it is going to build the pressure eventually onto Nortor if he doesn't get some down soon. So, I mean, he needs to really focus and get it down here and get that pain res.
Yeah, and he's got the pressure to do so. Every survivor in the trial's injured now compared to 30 seconds ago. You know, Duck got tagged, was chased, and was doing pretty well. I'd say that chase kind of shifted the momentum back to the survivors very temporarily. Nortor then switches around, goes away like a Kaneki usually does, you know, and just leaps across the map in 2 strides and gets head down onto our healthy survivor, or previously healthy survivor Vish, which will now give a pain res on the mid of the map, and that will slow generators down to a halt. Last trial, I believe the first hook after the tunnel out resulted in 2 generators popping, and no generators further popped after that, and that was after some very, very fast tags coming in from the killer. So this time Nortor, I think, has to still follow up. He's got a lot more room to wiggle, and wiggle. It's got a lot more room to wiggle and just to adapt to the situation. And the situation that he's trying to adapt to is, I guess, the edge gen hopping. And he will actually catch out Merit here. No fillers are around, so that's just another 3 down for Nortor. And I would have to guess, Hasso, that our survivors are resetting in the background. They just cannot allow 2 injured survivors in the map, because that just means that going for like anything is just really risky. So that reset should happen, but no, they're opting to stay injured. They think that they can get 2 generators done while they're both in the injured state, which is a very, very bold move from them. So we'll see if this pays off for our survivors. Vish does manage to fail the inside tech and revolt back, so they're just going to go down, and this cycle is just going to keep on repeating unless something changes. That's right, it might be a nightmare for you. Another very bad pun by me, but they do reset in the background, so they did opt to use the medkit, I think, there from LV. The extra speed was probably pre-planned out, and I'm not sure if it'll matter, because Merit's found again. Remember, this is ping, so he's kind of forced away as Nortor rotates away, tries to find the unhook, and the unhook actually happens immediately. So perhaps there's a bit of a mistake coming in, Hasso, allowing the unhook to happen for free, because now all survivors are up, and there is still that spark of hope that there could be a 4K1, there could be a tie, there could be a 3rd set in the cards for this current series, and LV Duck's showing exactly why you should not chase him. He's the most experienced, one of the most experienced survivors in Caustic, and he's definitely showing it with these chases. Look at this, no tag coming through from Nortor. He already used the Kagune leaps, and he decides to leave the healthy survivor instead of going for the mark. So that is huge, because it's going to kind of reset the pressure. Now the 2 injured are being chased, but they have plenty of distance. This is, I believe, yes, it is Vish around the main building, kind of gives away the mark there. Not much they could do about that, but still has a good amount of distance to be able to make the eye filler. That is right here. I don't know if it's safe though. Remember, again, this is ping being in play, and perhaps LV Duck is maybe close enough to also help out with the pallet save. I mean, this is a crazy chase going on. I think they might get down here, but they finally drop the pallet. The tech is attempted, is not attempted, and I think the swing will come through, and the last second down will happen. So, yeah, unfortunately, I think there was just too much pressure from Nortor for survivors to do that much. It's a bit of another blunder from Nortor again, I think. But at this point, I don't think it matters. You can really just pick up Vish at any point and just end the 3v1, and now survivors still have to pop 2 generators, which I think Hasso is just, there's no way, right? There's just no way. Those generators were just not close enough to being popped. Merit already knows where they are, so then you just need to find. LV Duck has information on both of them, and that, yeah, realistically crushes Caustic's comeback in this trial.
I mean, Tavi, I think one thing to take out of this is no doubt in my mind that Hex Ruin. That has played a massive slowdown, you know, in how Nortor's been able to approach this game. You know, obviously having this perk up 150% regression speed while people hop off their generators, I think that is diabolical. You know, that is going to be the body block here, but like I said, I mean, Hex Ruin, Tavi, if you can get rid of it in the early game, it changes the whole aspect of the game. So this will be a 4K3. Unfortunately for the survivors, that will be them ruled out for the night. But I think Caustic definitely as a team have a lot, you know, they're a young team, you know, they've got a bit of experience. They're a team that definitely, you know, is filled with a lot of potential. So I wouldn't be saying goodbye to them anytime soon. They've definitely got some cards to play and some, you know, some blackjacks to win. So I think, you know, overall, these guys are playing, you know, really nice for where they are at a team. And keep in mind, you know, this team merged just recently. I think it was Clown Crew and Team Scarlet. So it's sort of a merger of a team, and you know, it can be difficult. And I tell you what, if LV Duck though had this chase earlier on, if LV Duck had this chase earlier on, it could have been a complete game changer. Tavi, what are your thoughts on that one?
Well, yeah, I guess you just did not perhaps want to chase LV Duck before. Like, he was kind of left alone for the majority of the trial, except for now. There was an attempted chase twice, I think. Once around Shack, there was also another filler around the top side, which Nortor decided to chase a bit, but did not really go to much success apart from getting the filler out of the way. And that's kind of just knowing the team composition, just knowing LV Duck has some of the most experience on the team, so you really shouldn't chase him. And I guess Nortor just knew that, went for Chief first instead, got the tunnel out and secured the 4K3, which means KaitOkids will take away, I believe this is their first series win of Season 5, so congratulations to them. I think Caustic still going to be licking their